Hey everybody, I'm the Pixel Pathfinder, and my goal is to help you find great new indie games to play. In today's video, we are going to take a look and break down what Soulstone Survivors is. What is the game? What type of mechanics are involved? What sort of progression can you look forward to? And my goal with this video is to allow you to get a nice overview of the game and see if it's something that you think is going to hook you and interest you. So let's go ahead and jump right in. So, have you ever heard of a game called Vampire Survivors? It kind of kicked off a wave of a brand new genre of game where instead of bullet hell, where all the bullets were flying towards you, you became the bullets themselves. And you move around on a map and basically you're gonna, shoot out abilities and projectiles and melee attacks in all different directions and try to survive waves of enemies that are coming in to attack you. Well, Soulstone Survivors is a spin-off of that genre. It's currently out in early access. There is a free prologue and a free demo that you can check out if you do want to try the game, so I'd encourage you to do that. Links in the description below. But what makes Soulstone Survivors stand out amongst the crowd, and what are the systems that it has available to it? Well, first off, Soulstone Survivors has a ton of different characters. So as of the making of this video, there are 14 different characters that you can play as. So we have everything from the Barbarian to the Paladin over to the Elementalist. A couple I haven't unlocked, but I know this one is the Death Knight. So lots of variety on the types of characters that you can play as. Each character by default comes with a gray quality weapon. That weapon is going to give them a particular ability. Each class also has different stat modifiers for it as well. So you can see the Barbarian gets a bonus to maximum health, whereas something like the Assassin gets a increase to their cast frequency modifier. So there's class modifiers, and then there's also weapon abilities that you can unlock as well. So the Barbarian here with the gray weapon will start off with the Whirlwind ability. So this is the ability you're going to begin the game with, and it's the one you're going to use until you level up and you can choose new abilities. However, if you unlock the green tier weapon for the Barbarian, you'll be able to start with the Double Slash ability, and then there's going to be some additional modifiers attached to this weapon that comes specific to this Barbarian Tribal War Axe's weapon. So lots of interesting combinations here. So not only do we have a variety of classes, each class has several different weapons that will further modify them and give them different starting abilities. So lots of variety. There's also lots of character progression. Each one of these characters has their own independent leveling experience, and as you play with those characters, you're going to gain levels. Those levels are things that allow you to unlock the different weapons and things that you can craft, and also sometimes there's requirements to unlock or level up a certain class in order to unlock another class. So lots of reasons to keep playing different classes, keep doing more runs over and over again to continue to progress those levels and unlock more things. In Soulstone Survivors, there's a variety of different currencies that you collect from the different maps as well. You have your generic soul stones, which is kind of like gold or cash equivalent in any other game. And then you have these other more specific soul stones that you get from slaying different bosses in different levels. So we have corrupted, vile, wicked, hateful, and rogue soul stones, and we'll see where these get used later. But you are going to be collecting these currencies as well as some materials. So if we go over to the blacksmith is where you're able to craft those weapons for each of the different classes. So right now I have the assassin character selected, and you can see that I currently have the default weapon and then the next tier, that green weapon, unlocked. If we go over to the blacksmith, you can see that I've already crafted that green weapon. In order to be able to craft the blue tier weapon here, I need to reach prestige level 40 with the assassin. Level 40 prestige is this level here, that level that's specific to that character. So I still have a solid 25 levels to go on this character before I'll be able to have the option to craft this blue tier weapon. In order to craft that weapon, you're going to need some materials. There's all sorts of different ore and gems that you collect as you play through the different levels. Those give you the materials needed in order to craft these weapons and unlock those additional options for how you can play that character. So that's the blacksmith. We've got our materials and our currencies. Those are the majority of the things that you're going to be collecting as you are playing through the different levels. The next thing we have are runes. So runes are these kind of passive abilities that you can unlock, and you can eventually place 5 of them into this rune loadout here, and this will modify your run going in. So for example, if I were to select this weapon expert rune and equip it to my rune slot here, I would start the game with the special weapon skill for your currently selected weapon. If I were to choose this skill master holy here, it says adds up to 8 random active skills of the type holy that your character would not have access to otherwise to the skill pool if possible. So what this means is that this is a way, if you really want to tap into playing a holy style skill build, you can add additional holy skills that maybe aren't in the skill pool for your currently played character. And so this can really start to open things up for you. So not only do you have to unlock these runes by completing the conditions on them that are required. For example, to get this one here, I have to eliminate a total of 500 Lords of the Void, but you also have to have enough runic slots and available to be able to equip them. And there's a couple different ways that you can get those, and we'll talk about that as we move forward. So this is a huge system here as well for you to go through and try to accomplish these things in order to have more build options. This one here needs you to reach level 60 with the Beastmaster. So again, we're trying to level up to unlock our ability to craft new weapons. We're also trying to level up to be able to unlock runes and add our different build options. Now these runes, even though you have to unlock this one by hitting prestige level 60 on the Beastmaster, it doesn't only apply to the Beastmaster. Whatever you equip here in your loadout is going to apply to whoever you're playing for that particular run. So the next thing we have is the skill tree. So the skill tree started small, and they recently just expanded this as of the making of this video. But the skill tree will allow you to put points into a lot of passive abilities that will apply to all of your characters. And these aren't like the runes where they do something pretty special and you can only equip a few of them. You get the benefits of every single thing on this tree, and for the most part, they're going to be things like increase your maximum health, increase your default movement speed, increase the number of dashes you can perform. So these are less like build and run changing abilities and more just like improving your character's stats and capabilities across the board. Now right here, this is where you can actually increase the runic power of all your characters. You can get 5 runic points by doing this, and that will allow you to equip runes over here. You can also get 5 more runic power through achievements as well. Now, once you've got this inner tree filled out, then you can start to go and you can start to unlock the areas of the tree that are further out. So as you can see here, it says unlock all nodes in the central tree to reveal. I've got 4 more to go, but once you open this up, you get even more passive skill trees that you gain access to. So tons of skill points to stack up and earn all the currency that you'll need. These are unlocked primarily by spending your minor soul stones or by spending any of these special soul stones. So you're going through collecting these in order to unlock stuff on your skill tree. You're going through collecting materials to be able to craft your weapons. And then finally here we have the achievement section. So the achievements are going to show you all the different things that you still have to unlock. It'll tell you how to unlock different characters. That's normally through an achievement. It'll tell you how to unlock all the different weapons. It'll also show you some other things here, such as completing a match in less than 15 minutes. So there's tons of achievements to do as well. So if you're the kind of person who likes to tick a lot of boxes, likes to grind things out, which is what these games really are all about, and wants to continue to have variety in not only the character you play, but the weapon you use, the runes that you have equipped, and maybe even how you choose to progress your skill tree, even though eventually you should have it all unlocked, then this is a fantastic game for that. So what I want to do real quick is not do an entire full run for you, but I just want to go in. We're going to do a partial run on the Barbarian with the basic Whirlwind Axe, and I just kind of want to show you how the game plays. Another thing to me that makes Soulstone Survivors really stand out is the graphical style, the soundtrack, and the feel of play and the special effects. So I want to make sure that you get a chance to see all that here in the video. So we're going to pick that barb, we're going to come in, and we're going to fight. This is also going to give me the opportunity to show you the levels and some of the systems that you can get into here. So there are currently 5 different levels that you can play in: the Scorching Valley, the Caves of Dalzog, the Whispering Grove, the Frozen Wastelands, and the Dungeon of Despair. You'll notice up here at the top, it'll tell you which materials you can get from which place. So if you are trying to farm out a specific material for a weapon, you would want to go and play that particular map. It also shows your best time up here, and it shows your curse intensity as well. So once you've beaten the level and fulfilled some conditions, then you can apply curses to your run. Curses will make the run more difficult, but you will also get more rewards. And some of these curse tiers you're required to beat the level with a certain curse tier to unlock some of the characters. For example, if I wanted to unlock this Death Knight here, I need to win a match with all curses up to and including tier 5 enabled on the Frozen Wastelands. So I would want to come back here to the Frozen Wastelands, and I would need to get all the way up to tier 5 by completing this map with 25 or more curse intensity, which is probably going to be every single curse that I could possibly apply all the way up until this point in order to unlock that Death Knight. So again, another reason for you to keep playing and keep grinding. So we've got our curse intensity and we've got our available materials here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to jump in. We're going to go to the Frozen Wastelands, and we're just going to back it back off. We're going to take all the curses off so you can see just a basic level here. So when you first load in, if you hit the escape button, you're going to be able to see all your character attributes over here. So these are the default ones that are available. You've got your timer up here and your objectives here. Your objective is to eliminate 5 Lords of the Void. You spawn a Lord of the Void by killing enough enemies, and there will be a counter up here in the corner as well. Now down here at the very bottom, we have our XP bar, and as this fills up, we'll be able to select and upgrade every time we level up. We also have in the bottom corner here a list of all of our selected skills, upgrades, and abilities. So we have our Whirlwind by default, and every time we level up, we're going to get to add something to here. We may add things multiple times, and then it'll show, for example, this says ×1. If somehow we had gotten Whirlwind ×3, it would be on here as ×3. Then we have our health bar in red. We've got our skills bar underneath. You can have 6 active skills, and if you want to get an additional one, you would have to replace one of your older ones. We also have our dash ability right here on the space bar, and then over here we have our death protections. This is coming from the skill tree, so this is something I have as a result of putting points into that. Okay, so you can auto aim in this game, or the way I like to play is you can actually move your mouse to point in the direction that you want your projectiles to fire. You move around with WASD if you are using a controller, and then basically right here at the start, things are going to go pretty slow. We're going to grind out our first level, and it's going to take us a couple levels in order to kind of get things moving, but then once we do, it's going to start going a lot faster. And so the flow of this game tends to be a little bit slow in the beginning while you're just kind of building up. And then there's a huge middle section where you are constantly leveling, you're constantly getting upgrades. And then towards the back end, as you get further along, you start to slow down again because it takes more and more enemies to actually level you up. So here's our first level up and our first option to pick an upgrade. Now, as you level up the skill tree, you get a couple of fun options here where you can re-roll all of your choices. You could banish a choice so that you never see it again, or you can lock a choice in so that you can pick something else and you can keep that one for the next level up that you have. Initially, when you start playing, it's only going to give you passive options first, but after a couple levels, you'll get to start picking your next active skill. So over here, we can see the currency that we have earned so far. So our minor soul stones plus the material that is tied to this particular area. So here, each ability that you can choose when you level up has a rarity. So white is going to be common, green is uncommon, blue is rare, and then there are actually legendary powers and epic powers. Epic powers are going to be purple, legendary going to be orange. If you ever played World of Warcraft, it's the same kind of color system here. So a lot of times you want to take that highest rarity power, but not always. In this case, right off the bat, an extra 45 health is going to be massive. That's going to put us over 200 health. That's a really good just kind of starter to have. We're probably not going to take a lot of damage, but picking up something like that early on when we have the opportunity to take a rare power at level 2 is pretty strong. So we're going to grab that. And I want to play enough to at least let you see what it looks like once you start to get a few of your active abilities going. So we'll take a look at that. And again, we have our dash on spacebar there, so we can use that to get out of sticky situations if we're going to get hit by an AoE, or maybe we're going to get hit by someone's attack, or if we want to dash to the other side of a group like that, then we can definitely do that too. So kind of dash to the side. Dash through everybody. There we go. Okay, so level 3 is when we can start picking our next active skill. So I want to break down these active skills for you. So first off, they obviously say active skill underneath, and then you get the details of all the skills, about what they do and also what their cooldown is. And then a very, very important aspect of this is the skill type. So if you look at our whirlwind skill, it just says you spin and you deal 175 damage to all enemies around you. It's got a 1 second cooldown, but then skill type, it has swing, area, and physical. So what these are tags on the ability, and as you level up, you may get the option to increase the damage of all of your swing type abilities, at which point any skill that has that tag on it would get that damage increase. So when you're looking at your skills here, you can definitely just pick whatever skills you think work for your build. You could go for variety and stuff like that, but if you can kind of condense your skills into a couple of different skill types, then you can select those upgrades that are going to benefit multiple skills with a single upgrade. So as we get into this, you're going to see that I'll try to take things with similar tags unless I see something that really synergizes well. So I might try to take, all swing or all physical or a lot of swing and physical, and then maybe pick up a couple of abilities that are more utility based. Maybe they crowd control enemies and kind of pull them in or push them away or stun them or slow them down. Or maybe they buff me like Bloodlust here, which will increase your speed and your cast frequency for 10 seconds. That's a pretty solid one. So that's kind of normally how I go about targeting a build. We're not going to get super into that in this video because I will be putting out videos of actual runs and strategies for this game in the future. I really just want you to have a comprehensive look at what goes into playing this game so you can see whether or not it's something that you'd like to play. So we're going to go ahead and just pick up Heroic Strike. So this is going to strike all targets in front of us. So now we'll really need to aim. Previously with Whirlwind, we're just hitting everything around us, so it doesn't really matter what direction we're pointing our pointer in, but now it will matter because we'll have Heroic Strike, and we know it's going to matter because it says frontal. So frontal means it's going to swing in front of us, and it says right here in the direction you're aiming, it's going to deal damage and apply Confused. So there's status effects that you can apply to enemies in these games, and there's a lot of synergy with those. So what Confused does is it reduces their chance to hit, and whenever they attack, there's a chance that they'll take damage when they attack. And the total damage they take is equal to the value of all the stacks of Confused that they have. And this has a 4.8 second cooldown, so it's not going to hit as often as our Whirlwind, but it will hit pretty frequently. So we're going to grab that, and then you'll see that we'll start doing that Heroic Strike. So we've got the Whirlwind spin, and then we do that little frontal on our heroic strike there. Now that we have a second ability, we're really going to see the XP start to pick up because we're going to kill things a lot faster now. All right, so we're back to where we can pick up a passive ability. And so here we can increase our movement speed or increase our armor or our block power. So our armor is going to reduce all damage you take by a percentage, and that percent gets higher as you have more armor. So it's pretty nice. Me personally, I like to grab movement speed when I see it, if there's nothing super compelling, because I like to move fast. What can I say? It's fun. So here's an example of where we start to modify our skills. Expansive. So this says increases your area modifier by an additional 10%, increasing the area of effect of all your skills and the size of all projectiles. So this will allow us to modify all our abilities across the board. And what I'm wanting to find is one of these that gets specific with the skill tag. So we'll see if that shows up. But that also brings me to this other power here, magnetic. So this one increases the experience that you get by 15%. So it's just a flat plus 15% XP from every XP item that you pick up. And it also increases your pickup range by 100%. So it doubles it for you so that you can pick up things from further away so you don't have to move on top of everything. Anytime I see this at a rarity above common, I always like to grab it and just go ahead and get that increased range on my pickup and get that XP bonus, because that's just going to help us level up faster. And you can see how we are definitely picking up stuff from a lot further away. All right, we get to pick up our second ability here. So we've already got a swing area physical and a holy swing frontal physical. So here we have Titan's Cleaver. So this does swing frontal physical. That's a lot of the same tags as we already have. It slashes enemies in front of you, dealing damage, and the damage is going to be multiplied based on the power of your armor. So this might give us a reason to want to take armor passives as we get higher and higher up. So we're just going to grab this for right now. And I want to show you what happens when you fill up your bar as well. So we're probably just going to keep taking active skills whenever they pop up. But I'll also show you what the alternative is. All right, so here again, we've got a couple of different options. We've got another status effect in poison. We can increase our health again, or we can increase our block power. Our block power is going to give us a chance to completely block an attack. Not mitigate a damage amount, but totally just block an attack. So we're going to go ahead and we'll pick that up. All right. And again, enemies are starting to pick up. They're starting to get closer. We're starting to hit more because we have 3 abilities. And you can see that that XP amount is definitely picking up. We definitely got some different enemies coming here as well. Okay, so here's an example of a skill-specific power-up that you could pick up. So this says it increases the area modifier of the heroic strike skill by an additional 20%. It also increases the skill level as well. And you can see that when I hover over this, if you look down here on the bar, it shows me what is being modified. So that's super nice. We also have Vicious Strikes. You have a 100% chance to deal a critical strike on enemies with full health. I really love picking this up. We also have Increase Our Block Power, which again, we just got a big power up at a higher quality for that. So I think we're okay to skip this. So we'll pick that up. And you can see we leveled up again. Okay. So we can go ahead. We're just going to pick one of these up and keep going. We're just going to pick up Stomp for now. Again, I just want to fill up that skill bar so I can show you what happens once you do have all of your skills. So we're going to keep on grinding through here. Again, look at how close we are to leveling already. There we go. All right, so here's an example of a legendary power. So this one is for Titan's Cleaver. Increase the multicast chance of the skill Titan's Cleaver by an additional 60% and increase the level. So right now it's doing 437 damage. So we're going to pick that up. And that has taken it to level 2 for us. Now what multicast is it's the chance when your ability goes off for it to cast a second time. All right, and this should give us our next one. All right, so this is multicast for everything. We'll grab that. Now, if you notice, there's some green crystals over here. What those are health crystals. If you break them, they'll drop some pieces that will heal your health. But we haven't taken any damage yet, so we don't really need to worry about those. All right, so we're just going to take another ability here. We'll take Cluster Bomb. And again, I'm not too worried about the synergies or the run here. We just want to keep leveling up. Okay, we're going to go cast frequencies. So what this will do is basically reduce the cooldown of our skills so that we cast them more often. I really love the graphical style here. We got another upgrade here. So we can upgrade the damage of Heroic Strike. Or we can increase our skill level and increase the area modifier of Cluster Bomb if we want to. So let's go ahead. We'll up the damage of Heroic Strike, since we're using that pretty often. You can see now we're starting to hit that point where we do enough damage that it's kind of hard to keep enemies around. Also, Elfraid, the Fallen King, has just spawned, so we killed enough enemies to get him to spawn. We're also going to pick up our last ability here. So I think we're going to pick up Void. So what Void will do is it'll put out a little void there that will suck in enemies, and then that's pretty good for us because we can then go over and hit them with all of our swing area abilities. So now that we have our bar filled up, we're going back to passives here. We're going to grab this damage modifier. And then I want to show you, this should level us up here. We're going to do damage increase on Stomp. And if you look up here in the top, you can see we need to kill 850 monsters to summon a Void Lord. And again, the goal on this map is to kill 5 Void Lords. So now that we have the option here to pick another another active skill, remember we can only have 6 active skills. So if we want to pick one of these, we would have to get rid of one of our other ones. So anytime this happens, you can choose to replace your choices with passive power-ups. So maybe you're still looking for an active skill, but it's not one of these. You can just swap it out for passive power-ups. However, if you have all the skills you want and you don't want to worry about active skills at all, then you can check this box here to skip active skills, and it will no longer show you any active skills when you level up, even if it would be a level where you would normally be able to select an active skill. So we're going to replace these, and we'll go ahead and pick up Burn. So now all of our attacks have a chance to cause the enemy to be inflicted with Burn. All right, we'll go Cluster Bomb area. Alright, so we've got damage increase on our Heroic Strike, damage increase on Titan's Cleaver. We're doing okay on damage right now. These are rare, so I may want to pick them up, but that uncommon magnetic, even though it's uncommon, is still very tempting because it's going to increase that pickup range and help us level up faster. So I think I'm going to grab that for right now because we're doing okay on damage at this point. If you notice, we're killing things pretty quick. So it seems like a good time to take that pickup and that XP increase. So again, here we'll replace. We'll grab Doom. And again, we're just picking stuff up here. I've not been able to pull one of the abilities that modifies multiple things yet. So we're just I'm gonna keep playing, keep leveling up until we can see that. And this will just give you some more footage. Alright, so we can increase our damage modifier by 15%. So that's nice. We passed on that damage on the individual skills earlier and got the increased XP, and now that's pretty much coming back. Look, we got Blade Storm. Spin your weapon around you for a few seconds, hitting all enemies around you. Let's pick that up and let's take that instead of Let's see. Let's do that instead of our cluster bomb. Yeah. You can see we're starting to get some... Okay, here we go. We got it. So, area of effect, rare power, increases the area modifier of all your skills of type swing by an additional 30%. So, if you look at the action bar down here, you can see that when I hover over this, this is going to affect 4 of our skills. It'll increase the area of effect and projectile size of those skills. It'll apply to any units summoned by skills of this type, and it increases the level of all affected skills by 1. And then in the text, it also tells us that Whirlwind, Heroic Strike, Titan's Cleaver, and Blade Storm will all be affected. So when we pick this, all of those are going to have increased area of effect. And again, this is another reason why it's good to go ahead and try to at least group some of your skills together under different skill type tags. So we'll go ahead and we'll do that. So we've got our next Void Lord out. I think we'll kill this Void Lord. Oh, here's a good one. Swift. We get an extra dash. That doesn't pop up very often, so it's nice to see. All right, we'll do cast frequency, so we get a little bit of cooldown. And we took out that Void Lord pretty quickly there. Got ourselves another level. We'll go passive power-ups. Let's go damage increase for Blade Storm. And again, if you pick up this crystal that the Void Lord dropped here, it'll actually suck all the XP from the entire level in and give that to you. So we still have our Titan's Cleaver. We could pick up armor to increase the damage of that and also to just give ourselves more damage mitigation. Pretty good stuff. All right. So that is, I think, a good example of what a run looks like. We're going to go ahead and surrender and confirm. So at the end here, you're going to get some feedback on how you did. So you'll get your soul stones collected, materials collected, information about your curse intensity, comparisons to your best scores, and information on the enemies that you've eliminated. But also what I think is really interesting is you get to find out what your damage per skill was. So we can see that our Whirlwind that we started out with was actually doing the most work for us. But Titan's Cleaver was starting to catch up. And then Blade Storm, which we actually got pretty late, was catching up really, really quickly. It was starting to do a lot of work. And if we go into details, then you can see the DPS, effective damage, total damage, number of hits, and time that you had it active. So Blade Storm, we had it active for 47 seconds, and it was already clocking in 2.4k DPS with total damage getting pretty up there in 47 seconds. So really nice ability. This can kind of help you to see maybe which abilities were super effective with the way that you played, or maybe look at, you know, how effective they were versus their levels and things like that. So once we're done here, we just pop back out to the main menu. And then this is the part where we would go in and do kind of our meta progression, and we would go and find out, okay, did we unlock a new character? Are we able to craft anything at the blacksmith? Go over to the skill tree. You know, can we afford anything at the skill tree? And then do we want to buy any new, unlock any new runes or equip any runes over here in our loadout? So this is an overview of Soulstone Survivors. Hopefully it's kind of helped you to figure out whether or not this is a game that you would want to play. I really like and really enjoy this game a lot. We're going to be doing a Roguelike Runs series of Soulstone Survivor here on the channel, where I'll basically be putting out videos, and every video will be a run with a different character, different strategy, and we'll play through that run, see how far we can get, and maybe try to do a recap at the end with lessons learned. If this video has helped you, go ahead and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this, and if you can, share the video with a friend who you think might like this game or might like my channel and the information that I give you all. So again, I'm the Pixel Pathfinder. My goal is to help you find awesome indie games to play. I hope that I've done that in this video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one.